And welcome to today's blind buy first impressions. Now we're going to do a blind buy first impression from the house of Ferrari, and that's Ferrari Uomo. Stay tuned because that's coming up next. Welcome back, guys. If you've ever watched my channel before, you know that I really like bright neroli, radiant bergamot, just a couple fragrances from the house of Ferrari. It's a particular style, and I think there's about 8 or 9 different fragrances in that line. I can't remember all of them, but I wrote them down. I've got like radiant bergamot, noble fig, lavender essence, leather essence, I think, let's see, pure lavender, vetiver essence. There's essence musk. It's my favorite bottle style of the Ferrari fragrances, so I'm excited to pull this guy out. And let's not wait any longer. We'll take a look at the presentation, then we'll go over the note breakdown, and then we'll see what the scent is like on a strip, and then of course, as always, on skin. Take it out in one fell swoop. The box is the typical Ferrari box. You've got silver with the Ferrari logo on the top, Ferrari Uomo on the bottom in brown, and then the stitching, which is the same large stitching that is in a lot of Ferraris. On the very back, you've got some ingredients listing, Ferrari, you've got some codes, product information, batch code, and on the very bottom, barcode and batch code. So if you're interested in checking out batch code and getting that information, that's it. Ferrari on the very top of the box. I'll tell you what, I love a good heavy bottle, don't you? It just feels like something with weight to it, just feels substantial. You know, it feels good in your hand. Ferrari Uomo, beautiful presentation. The bottle is awesome. Got a little bit of an indentation on either end, so it kind of goes inward. I'm gonna show you the edge of that, just so you can, kind of know what it feels like. Oh, I'm gonna bust the bottle with my tungsten ring there. You got Ferrari Uomo. On the top of the bottle, the lid itself is embossed with the Ferrari logo. On the very bottom, you've got the product information as well as the batch code. That's it for the presentation, but I like, in this case, simple is elegant, elegant is poignant. It is a nice flacon. It's supposed to be reminiscent of the sleek elegance, the speed, the aristocracy, the prestige. So of course the top has that dark leather going around it, and I'll show you in the back. You've got the stitching there. This is just like the gear shifter of a manual Ferrari. Ferrari Uomo was created by perfumer Alberto Morillas, which we know has created many, many different fragrances, many of which have become amazing. So let's check out Uomo and see what it's like. Now, let's talk a little bit about the notes. This leathery, woody fragrance features notes of bergamot, juniper berries, lemon, leather, nutmeg, cedar, labdanum, patchouli, that's dark patchouli, or what they call patchouli dark, and tonka bean. So kind of give it some light creaminess and sweetness to it, along with the labdanum. Let's check out the juice. One thing I didn't know is when I took the cap off, you've got this shiny red top to the atomizer. I don't know what that's representative of. If someone knows, put the answer in the description. But yeah, cool, check that out. Kind of a shiny red. It kind of stands out. I don't know, it's neat. It reminds me of some sports cars that will have like the red calipers on the brakes, and I've always liked that. All right, 3-pump prime. Okay, good bit of juice there. Okay. All right, so couple things, first impressions that just popped into my head smelling this. This is not going to be a beast of projection. I can tell that right away. I really like the fragrance. I like the open. I know already that I'm going to like the dry down because I like that blend, I like that mix, and I like where it's going, where I can at least tell that it's going. However, this is a somewhat more subtle fragrance. It is not at all aggressive. There's not an aggressive bone in its body. Definitely can smell the work of Alberto Morillas. He definitely has a particular taste, a particular fragrance DNA, if I can use that phrase. His scent profiles they all have similarities. There's not a drastic change between them. They all kind of meet at a specific tangent. Maybe it's how he blends, maybe it's the notes that he uses. I'm not sure what that tangent is, but it's there, you can tell if you smell enough of his fragrances. This is a beautiful composition. I really do like Ferrari Uomo. It's almost like subtly intelligent. This one is the type of fragrance that invites you to wait and pick apart the different notes and accords as they come to you through the dry down. Now this one does have, straight out of the bottle, you are getting that juniper berries. Juniper berry can be piercing as an accord, and this one definitely is more of a piercing, and that's what primarily causes it to lift off the skin and project. So owing to the juniper berries, is going to project a little bit better, then it will give you the longevity in terms of performance. This kind of opens up with that Sicilian lemon and that Calabrian bergamot, so you get that bright, juicy, citrusy, kind of like the reminiscent of the Mediterranean sun. And then as it dries down, you start getting a little bit of that juniper berry, which is a kind of astringent and piercing, and then a little bit of a dark earthiness with that patchouli dark. Both of those are kind of reminiscent of different aromas that would be found in like a Mediterranean arena. Let's try it on skin. I'm getting quite a bit of sweetness too that I really like. Not a formidable amount, but a nice ripe sweetness to this coming from the tonka bean. I want to spray it on skin. I'm going to give it a good dose, 3 sprays on my arm. Let's let that dry down and we'll check it out. That is nice. Oh, yes. Okay. You know, what's interesting is on a strip, you don't really catch but just a very lightest of leather. But on skin, that leather is very, very prominent. It's very prominent. It's very easy to pick up, and I like that fact. Leather's a wonderful note in this fragrance, and I expected it to be more. Now, it's meeting my expectations a lot better, 100% better on skin. What a great blend of the bergamot, the labdanum, the patchouli, and the juniper berries, and the tonka bean, giving it that sweetness in the base. So it's surrounded by a thin layer of the semi-sweet creaminess, and that's the tonka bean. And then you get that astringent, that kind of piercing that pushes through that sweetness, rises above, and then throughout both of those is infused the leather. So you've got all of those working together in a kind of a synergistic harmony. And I really like Uomo. I really do. I don't want to over talk it. Like, it's not the best fragrance that I've ever smelled, but for a cheapie, very good stuff. Now again, just like any first impression, I can't speak to longevity or projection. However, this is projecting really well on my skin right now. Again, owing to the fact of that really good mix of dark patchouli and juniper berries. So you got the dark earthiness that's going to pull it in as a base, and the juniper berries is going to be a little bit stronger and bring it to the forefront, have it pop off your skin a little bit. This fragrance is a little bit, because it does contain certain accords. So you've got tonka, nutmeg, leather, a few accords that are often found in cooler weather fragrances. So you can definitely wear this in cooler weather. You definitely want to keep it as primarily a spring and summer and fall fragrance. Saying that, it's pretty much a year-round fragrance. So it is very, very versatile as a result of that. Primarily, you're going to have this as a casual to semi-formal fragrance. This smells to me like something that you can dress up, but you can wear it at the office, just kicking it at home, or going shopping or hanging out with friends, you know, running errands, paying bills. Perfect fragrance for that as well. This is something that I could see on the level of a signature fragrance, just because it is so versatile and it is so not subjective to season, I should say. It's not seasonal. You can wear it anytime you want to. However, the extremes are where this would fail. So you don't want to wear it in high heat, and you don't want to wear it in super cold weather. Some kind of range or happy medium in between is going to be perfect for Ferrari Uomo. If you're in the fragrance community, you're probably familiar with anosmia, the phrase that you've gone anosmic. That just means nose blind. You can no longer smell your fragrance, even though it's there and other people around you can smell it. There's something called phantasmia that's the opposite of that. That means you're actually smelling like the smell of burnt toast, or an acrid, like burning rubber or something like that. And that typically means that you're having some kind of dysfunction in your body, whether it's a stroke or you've had some kind of head injury or something like that. I don't know. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but hey, knowledge is knowledge, and I just dropped a big chunk of knowledge that is pretty useless in front of you there. So just kick it out of the way and we'll continue on with our review. I disagree with a somewhat common consensus that Uomo smells like Dior Fahrenheit. This does not at all have that fossil fuel gasoline smell on the top of it. First of all, it's a very subtle fragrance. Dior Fahrenheit is more aggressive, and it smells like a little bit like gas on hot pavement. This does not at all have anything resembling that. If anything, it has kind of a little bit of a warm motor oil in the mid to the dry down, and in the dry down you've got a little bit of just the faintest essence of spent rubber. Okay, so you can, and that's all due to the patchouli dark. Got a little bit of the creaminess from the tonka bean pulling in a combination of juniper berries and patchouli that gives you that little kind of a burnt, almost acrid, lightest fossil fuel rubber smell. And you'll know it. It'll just hit you. Like if you try to pick it out and smell it, you won't get it. When you're not trying to is when it's actually going to come to it. Because only in certain circumstances that you smell it. It's not there 100% of the time. That's the only similarity, you know, to the gasoline smell in Fahrenheit, but I do see why people compare it to Fahrenheit. There is a little bit of a similarity in terms of the fragrance. So if you are a fan of Fahrenheit, you'll be a fan of this, but don't look for that gas smell. This is a lot more subtle. Fahrenheit's a lot more aggressive in that department. This is a great addition to the Ferrari line. It really makes me want to get leather essence, because if the leather note is the same in leather essence, just beefed up or bumped up quite a bit, that'll make me super happy, because I really like the accord, the leather accord in this. Super subtle, but I really like how it comes to the foreground on skin as opposed to a tester strip. So if you're gonna try this out, definitely try it on skin and not a tester strip. It's going to change radically. So I'll definitely be getting the leather essence, so be on the lookout for that review in the future. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate your continued support on my channel. I'm going to go ahead and leave the link again to the 2,000 sub giveaway. That's going to be coming up soon. We're edging ever and ever closer. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, say, hey, we need to get Studio Sense to 2,000 subs because he's going to do a giveaway. I just have commented how old I was when I had my first date in the thread, and I'm in for the win. And so if you want to be in for the win, all you got to do is click on this link above. Make sure to go to the thread, comment how old you were when you had your first date, and then you're in. That's it, because that's the pool of candidates that I will choose the winner from as soon as I hit 2,000 subs. So hopefully that'll be coming up soon. I know you're probably tired of me talking about the giveaway, but I'm really pushing to get to that 2K so that I can get this quarantine kit out there to you guys. I really hope you enjoyed spending time on my channel today. Hopefully you'll look at Ferrari Uomo in a new light if you already have it, and if not, pique your interest in possibly getting it. Again, thanks so much for stopping by. Stay safe out there, guys. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you next time.